And hello again, YouTube. It is 5:39 a.m. Thursday, August 25th, 2022. Yeah, this mess still looks absolutely terrible, and I did kind of block some of my closet, but there's some floor, sort of. Considering it's been less than 24 hours and all the other stuff that I've done, I'm feeling pretty good about this. The biggest thing is that I actually got this drawer to where I can open it. It's been blocked for so long, and emptied one of my suitcases of laundry, and that's full of pants and shorts. So, of course, now comes the challenge of not letting myself block it again. There was some random things of Priscilla's in that drawer, which I kind of moved to one of her piles, which she doesn't seem to be making a whole lot of progress at getting out, but that's a separate tragedy. Still can't set too much stuff to maneuver those doors. I'm dying to see what's behind this other closet door, because if memory serves, it's reasonably empty, and getting access to that will certainly help me do some more substantial cleaning in here. Anyway, did I say the day and date? I feel like I did, but now I don't remember. Anyway, 5:40 a.m. Thursday, August 25th, 2022. I've been up since about 1 a.m. and been at this cleaning project, I don't know, maybe about 2 hours. The biggest accomplishments is I got the 2 cassette cases. I've actually moved them into my daughter's room just to try to get a better grip on it, along with I had another cassette case that I found, like a carry case with some tapes in it, and I moved that there. And I'm really not trying to make this situation in my daughter's room worse, but at this point I need to just get some stuff out of here to maneuver the other stuff that's here. And as much as I love to complain about, I want the messy ex-girlfriend out of my place, this is I'll own this. This is my mess. It's a TV mount. I'm not even sure where the hell the rest of it went. So I had this great grandiose idea, which I may or not ever get around to, but you can see my desk is just out of hand. But once upon a time, I had a rather nice computer with 2 monitors sitting on that desk, and dang, I practically got them buried, but I got nice little bookshelf speakers hidden in those shelves on either side, and those are hard to come by now. Those are 1x4 IKEA Expedits, and then that's a matching IKEA lac desk. For those who have been playing with IKEA for I want to say over a decade, because I think it's been over a decade since Expedit's been discontinued. One thing that was really neat, if you mixed and matched lac and Expedit, is that the dimensions and the finish and everything are exactly the same. So glad I got those purchased, like, when I could still get it. The ones on that side, those are IKEA. Oh my gosh, I forget the name of it. Anyway, whatever it is that replaced Expedit. And now I'm starting to doubt myself, wondering if Expedit is the new one, and there was one before. I don't recall. I'll have to Google that and put it in the section. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a hell of a challenge here trying to get to that. But I did manage to get one of my suitcases of clean laundry from the other day put away, either all hung up in the closet, or all the socks are kind of piled over there, and the pants and shorts in that dresser drawer. So I'm hoping by a little later in the day to get those other 2 drawers accessible, figure out what that pile of stuff is, and get on it. Anyway, I need to go get something to eat, get something to drink. I don't have my car right now. It's still over at Rob's shop. Yeah, sleeping woman on the couch. She's got her own place now, and she has had for, I want to say 2 weeks. Maybe it's been over 2 weeks now. I'd have to go back through the vlogs to really sort it out, but for whatever reason, she just insists on sleeping here, and I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I mean, if we're, sleeping together as a couple, that's one thing, and that's nice, but her just taking up space on my couch like that, I'm not very happy with that. Especially since it's back to her being fully clothed with the theme of don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. So anyway, Morning. Whoa, that was scary. My neighbors is out watering the lawn early. Yeah, the whole don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me thing is frustrating to say the least. But I don't know. I'm not wanting I'm not wanting it to get ugly because a couple of weeks ago it got pretty ugly. But on the same token, I'm really wanting my place clean again. And I'm wanting my place to be my place completely again. And as long as she's taking up that much space on my couch and I'm still struggling to clean my mess, because her mess is in the way, yeah, I'm just not there. So that's super frustrating for me. So gosh, what happened since the last video? What was the last video? I gotta think about that one. God, I shot so many videos yesterday, I don't even remember. Although I did a little bit ago, just uploaded the short of the woman who was sleeping on the bus stop by Rob's shop right after I dropped off my car, which, by the way, Rob still has. He didn't finish it last night. No shock there. He said that just he had way too much going on and didn't have time to get to it, and that's that's fine. I know he's got a lot of work going in and out of there. I think he's got a new mechanic work for him now too, which is probably a good thing. Yeah, he's morning. He's wow, the walkway's pretty wet this morning. By the way, heading up to Circle K, get my sip and save drink and just get some munchies to go with it. He did, to give Rob credit, he did call me at, I want to say 5 o'clock-ish, maybe 4:30. Which, of course, if I was trying to take the bus to Amazon, would have been, I would have already been on the bus to Amazon. But he did call around that time to let me know that that he had that he had the keys waiting for me. I could come grab it, and I was like, "Well, what was wrong with it?" It's like, "Yeah, get to it." And I'm like, "Well, that sucks." And I just told him it's like I already put in for tonight off work. I do think in one of my videos when I was wandering around Tempe, I mentioned that, I think like right as I was leaving Whataburger, I mentioned that that I had tried to, that I'd got a text message saying that VTO was available for last night, and that I'd gone to the app to try to do it, and for some reason that just some kind of Amazon server problem, whatever, it just would not load the page. It was giving me some kind of error saying that it couldn't load the page and to try back later. I think pretty much as soon as I got home, as I knew there was just no way I was going to get enough sleep. I forget what time I got home, but I want to say it was Oh, and now I'm remembering my last video. I remember what my last video was. It was me walking from the QT talking about the shenanigans on the bus, 44th Street, and also on at QT, just trifling people stuff. So yeah, anyway, yeah. So I forget what time it was I got home, but it was definitely early afternoon. I want to say it was like 1-ish, and by that time it was pretty clear there was just no way I was going to get enough sleep for me to go to work, since I need to leave around, I need to be kind of up and getting ready around 4 o'clock if I'm taking the bus. And I'm just like, nah, just whatever, let Rob deal with the car. Just haven't really felt like going into Amazon at all. God, it feels like it's been that way all month since my birthday. I'm just really frustrated with how they've handled the whole forklift bumping into a safety barrier, but not causing any damage. I wasn't doing anything specifically wrong, just a super minor, no harm, no foul kind of accident, and and then suddenly I'm deprived of doing the one thing I really enjoy. It's and just the way I was told, oh, you'll be back on in a couple weeks. It's been a month now, so yeah, it's really made me not want to go in there. It really has. So I did have one of the top managers tell me that I should be getting back in like the beginning of September. So I do fully intend to put in a full week of work next week. But as for this week, yeah, I've pretty much blown off the entire week. 3 days at least, was able to get VTO and have no strikes against me as far as my, attendance or my status as a Amazon level 1 associate. But what do you call it? My yeah, I do need to get back there. I did have the one night, Tuesday night, that VTO wasn't available, and I was just incredibly groggy. Like, yeah, no way in hell I'm going anywhere. I'm way too tired to get up. I'm way too tired to drive. And I just rolled over and went back to sleep. And that's on me. Like, I really need to make a stronger effort to get myself back on my regular sleep schedule. I mean, right now I am on literally the least practical sleep schedule to go with my work schedule I could possibly be on. So when I got home, I want to say about 1 p.m. At that point, I was just so tired from all the walking and just walking and taking the bus with as hot and muggy as it is right now. It's really draining. It's really, really draining. So that time I got home, I just laid down and farted around a little bit on YouTube, but just I don't feel like working on nothing. I don't feel like standing up. I'm just physically exhausted. So other than messing with YouTube, messing with I want to say messing with Reddit, but I don't know that I did in Reddit. I think it was just strictly on YouTube and responding to responding to people's messages and stuff. But yeah, I went to I feel like I was dozing off around the time. Like every now and then I kind of close my eyes and try to sleep, but I couldn't get to sleep. And I was just about out around 5 o'clock or whenever it was Rob called. I feel like it was around 5. Of course, I guess I could check my call log. I don't even remember which phone he called me on. Rob is one of the few people that actually has both phone numbers. Just since he's got, all my cars, I may as well make sure he has both phone numbers, right? Calls. Recents. Why is it not open at the top of the list? Yesterday. Wow, later than I thought. actually called it like closer to like 5:50. I might have actually dozed off before I called. It's possible. I don't know. Sometimes I get to that point where I'm not really asleep, but I'm not really awake either. I'm just kind of just sort of tired, but not able to really get good sleep. That actually happens more than I'd like it to happen. Anyway, yeah, shoot, at that time, I'd have been hard pressed to get a, if I was going to Amazon, which I wasn't, and I pretty much told them I wasn't planning on going to Amazon that night anyway, but yeah, I'd have been kind of hard pressed to get a lift. I certainly could not have made it there by bus, and I'd have been hard pressed to get a lift or an Uber down to his place, and then drive to Amazon. But anyway, like I said, when I got home from Tempe, I just was laying in bed and feeling just exhausted. I'm like, yeah, it's not happening tonight. Let's see if the A to Z app is working like it's supposed to now. Oh, good, it is. Oh, good, VTO's still available. I'm F tonight. Anyway, now I do remember shortly after, like, I think it was almost exactly after I got, so yeah, that does put it about 6 o'clock. Pretty much like right after I got off the phone, Priscilla climbed in bed with me, which was a little bit awkward because I had one of my suitcases of laundry like blocking quite a bit of the bed. And she called Rob as well, because I guess she's some issues with her vehicle as well. And then called, we made out a little bit. Again, not quite as, it didn't exactly go where I wanted it to, but it's something, I guess. Yeah, after that, she said she was going to her place to work on unpacking stuff. And I told her I was exhausted, that I was, just about fell asleep when Rob had called. And at that point she left, and I fell out hard. I finally fell asleep really solid. So yeah, like now I'm sleeping from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Yeah, that's not conducive for my schedule at all. In fact, that's pretty much exactly the time that I need to be, gone and at Bullock's tonight. And I don't exactly have the option of just not showing up or I don't have any options. I have to be at Bullock's. That's me. That's an all me thing. All right, somebody left a shopping cart right here, presumably stolen. From, where's it stolen from? Does it say? Burlington. That one made it almost a mile. Burlington's at the south end of what you call it? I forget the name of the big power center right next to me there. Arcadia Crossing, that's what it's called. Speaking of power centers, there's something that I watched after I got home from Tempe that was actually a longer video than that particular channel usually puts out, that I just absolutely loved the video, got lost within the video, and then got lost pretty much scrolling through the entire comment section. But City Nerd put out a new video about power centers. And of course, he was just, ripping them apart as horrible, absolutely horrible land use, and just the wrong way to build cities, and a way that forces cities, particularly suburban areas, to be completely car dependent. And most of his points, that's one loud little motorcycle. Most of his points I fully agree with, but and I did mention, two cases that I feel really stand out as not meeting that all the things that he was saying about power centers as just forcing car-dependent infrastructure. One of them being a power center that I went to, which is just east of the airport in Portland. And I forget the name of it, but it's named something station. I want to say Jewel Station, but I'm sure that isn't right. Yeah, check the information. Check the video information here. I'll try to make sure that I get the name correct in there, because I don't remember the name of it exactly. I know it's something station though, and it's named station because it's centered around a light rail station. In fact, I think they went as far as to put light rail stations at each end of the power center, just to make this particular power center and shopping area more accessible to people that use the Max light rail system in Portland. And I went there. I'm not sure if I shot a video of when I went there. I didn't shoot as many videos as I really should have when I was in Portland, and a lot of that kind of stemmed from the fact that I just didn't have a lot of available space on my phones, and I was just so entrenched in the experience that I wasn't shooting video. I was just, kind of experiencing just by myself. But anyway, well, I haven't been by these townhouses in a lot. These are really nice. I like this. Although that top patio seems a little too small to be of any real use. That's so funny how there's a door there and just door to nowhere. Patio, on the other hand, looks rather nice with those spikes along the edge to keep the birds off. It would also stop me from using it as an armrest. You know what? Although look how narrow that is. Yeah, it's kind of unusable as well. It's kind of funny. These patios have doors, but they're so small that they can't really be used. They're almost just for looks. I mean, that one at least has a chair on it. Yeah, interesting architecture choice. Anyway, I can only imagine what these sell for. Property and houses in my neighborhood are damn expensive, in spite of all the homeless people. Very expensive in this neighborhood, and it really, really jumps when you go across Thomas, which I just did. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I forget the name of the power center that's that has its own light rail station, but yeah, it's now you can also get right off of it from a freeway and from like the. Oh, this is interesting. Artisan Commons, private property security patrol. Yeah, this property I'm on here definitely looks like a, not an alley per se, but definitely a utility public right-of-way. So I'm thinking those signs just apply to the other side of the fence. Now, spaces like this, I feel, are where good pedestrian infrastructure could be, but instead they just end up being cut off. That's one thing I felt that was really nice about where at least this guy's got a back fence. That's something. Everybody else is just cut off from this potential space for a nice path. Yeah, that was one thing where my daughter lives in Beaverton that they did have a lot of, and I did get some pretty good footage of some of those, where if there's spaces like this between houses, there will be a nice path that could be used, by pedestrians and also by bikes, and they'll landscape it nicely as opposed to just kind of a band. Well, that sign matches the one on the other property. Well, there's one over there too. That's interesting. This is interesting. It widens out into like a full-size alley here. I had the feeling at one time this was an actual alley, and then whoever developed those townhouses managed to get a little more space. It's just made this not an alley that vehicles can pass through. I've never walked through here before. Just when I'm starting to think, and look, there's another one. Same kind of address sign. The green green text. You can tell vehicles have driven through here, but not in quite some time. At least the church has got a fence where it's accessible. And sometimes I feel like I've walked like every random path like this, place where you can kind of possibly cut through, but I've never walked down this one before. 4900's painted on the wall. I want to say that that's the address, but no, that can't be the address, because that lot would be on the south side of Thomas Road. South side of Thomas Road, which would be No, that's correct. Sorry, I had to think about that. No, that's the north side of Thomas Road, south side of me. So it would be an even numbered address. And then Pinshot's obviously on the other half of the block. And I'm getting odd numbered addresses because that's the south side of Pinshot. All right, never mind me. I'm just, for those who don't know, an easy way to kind of find addresses in Phoenix is even numbers. Even numbered addresses, always on the north side of the road or the west side of the road. Odd numbers, always on the south or the south or the east. All right, well, this makes it kind of not drivable. We got a little tree growing right here in the middle. This is a wild path. Might have to trim this out and upload it separately as a. Oh gosh, I made a couple videos. I was calling it I was trying to make a series, and then I just kind of stopped finding stuff like that. But I think I was calling it unintentional pedestrian infrastructure or something like that. Both of them that I did actually in the. Were interesting connections, pedestrian usable connections between, one is even bikeable or scooterable, but connections between Van Buren Street and Washington Street in an area where there's really a lack of pedestrian connectivity, and it's very much needed. I think it's really wild how this address has these really nicely made matching signs for every address. I'm just super curious who put those there. All right, now this is definitely an alley that's drivable. I'm going that direction. Phoenix Neighborhood Patrol, partnership with the Phoenix Police Department to report suspicious activity. 262-6151. Last time I called 602-66. Last time I called 602-265-6151. That's the Phoenix Police non-emergency number. Oh yeah, looking at these trees, this is definitely not being currently used as an alley. Wow, it's crazy overgrown. I mean, theoretically, you could drive through here, but I wouldn't want to scratch up my vehicle driving past that. Yeah, last time I called that number, I was trying to actually report somebody who was actively smoking fentanyl at a bus stop because I was just so bothered by it that day. And yeah, just outgoing repeating message for, I want to say 15 minutes. It never did get answered by a person. So yeah, go ahead. Report the suspicious guy walking down the not really used, unused alley with a cell phone talking to himself. Report that guy. Good luck getting Phoenix PD to answer that number. Now that's an interesting sign. There you see a brick knocked out by, that looks like something that accesses the canal system, an SRP canal system, which is all over this area. It's what, provides the irrigation. So yeah, it looks like people who live in those apartments there have been using this as a shortcut. And it's a shame they have to use it as a shortcut. Well, look, there's one North 49th Court. Let's look at those green signs with addresses on them. I have never seen those type green signs in Phoenix alleys before with such clearly shown addresses. And yeah, this alley, big time overgrown. It's just weeds growing in a big way here. Now, that's a newer fence on the right. That is really tall. Yeah, all these kind of things, and as you can see, I mean, I've been walking through this path for quite some distance, which means that everything, you know, on my right is disconnected from everything on my left. So talk about things that make a neighborhood not walkable. Just love those address signs on every address to the left. Yeah, talk about stuff that makes a neighborhood not walkable. These ginormous blocks with just long cinder block fences that just go on forever. That you know, if you lived in any of those houses that have been passing on the left for quite some distance, I feel like I've been walking on this for well over a quarter mile. Yeah, if you live on any of those houses and you want to walk down to Thomas Road, you've got a pretty long walk before you get to something where you can go across this pathway that I'm on, this old alley. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about City Nerds video about power centers, and yeah, so I was talking about the one in Portland that is interestingly more accessible by light rail than it is by car. Now, I definitely noticed there were more people, you know, that were going to it by car than there were light rail, but there were other people other than just myself that were taking the light rail there. I went because there was a Ross. At the time, I desperately needed some more smartphone charging cables, and Ross usually has a pretty good selection of those at a great price. So that's where I was headed. And for me, I'm looking for a Ross. I'm looking for a Ross I can get to that's adjacent to a light rail. And I'm like, ooh, look, there's a big old power center that actually has its own light rail system station. That's wild. All right, so where the hell did that path come out at? I'm thinking 50th Street and Earl. Yeah, 50th Street and Earl, which are both quarter-mile thoroughfares, which is to say that they mark, in the Phoenix City street system, they mark quarter-mile intervals in the square-mile grid system that Phoenix is based on, which is based on the United States Geological Survey map. This is neat. This is the first time I've walked down one of these streets. Yeah, I've been reading so much about this and seen news videos about this, but this is the first time I've walked down one of these streets. So this is one of the streets that Phoenix has painted white in an effort to reduce the heat island effect of all the blacktop in the valley. And most of the studies are indicating that it has worked, that it has brought the temperatures down in the neighborhoods where they've done it. And it's looking like they've done this whole neighborhood. Wow. Normally I'd be walking on the sidewalk since there are nice sidewalks on the street, but yeah, and one of the comments people put negative in the YouTube videos where the city of Phoenix and then some of the news channels were covering this particular project in an attempt to mitigate the heat caused by all the blacktop in the valley, was that, oh, cars are just going to drive on it and make it super ugly. One of the other things is people were saying that the paint would be slippery when it rains. It's been raining a lot this month, so I haven't drove on this, but I am going to have to try that out sometime when it's raining, since this is so close to home. Looks like they've done this whole neighborhood. This is pretty wild. This is actually the first time I've seen it. Yeah, it's definitely not the bright white it was in the videos I was looking at. And yeah, definitely the tires of people driving on it, those people parked on the wrong side of the road, have darkened it, but no more so than the cement drainage there, which continues the curb. So I don't feel it looks bad at all. I mean, it's not the ooh neat look. It's white that it was when it was put down, but this doesn't look horrifically ugly to me at all. Just different. Wow, when I was watching those articles and looking at the places, where, ooh, I hear an angry dog. Looking at the places that got this street coating treatment, I didn't recall anything being this close to home. So, yeah, wonder where between 1 and 2 million that property is. That's the house doesn't even really look extravagant. Just that big garage behind it does. Anyway, it looks like yeah, they continued the paint covering to cool the street going west, but this looks like this is all the farther they went east with it. Let's say they could have made that transition a little less sloppy looking. Come on, you guys. Anyway, so as I was saying, Earl and 50th Street, those are quarter mile. So yeah, that alley that I've been walking on since it turned and went north is definitely like the exact halfway point between 48th Street and 52nd Street, both of which are kind of thoroughfares. But as you see, 50th Street doesn't go south of, at least as a thoroughfare like where I was walking on, it doesn't really go south of Earl to Thomas. But that alley does, which explains why that one bit was knocked where somebody could jump across those apartments. So we do have 50th Street going south here, and these look like much newer houses, much newer houses, and everything else is built here. I'm assuming that area was probably might have still been like a little pocket of like agricultural property, or maybe just houses that were on really big lots, like horse property type stuff. That somebody managed to purchase and develop and put just one cul-de-sac full of houses on. I haven't walked through this way in quite a while. I see another one of those big drains that goes down to the canal system below. And judging by the way there's such a wide space between the sidewalk and the utility box, I would imagine in the space between that little retaining wall and the sidewalk where I'm working at, I would imagine if you were here, looking at the architecture, trying to do the math, I would say in the 1970s, maybe even as late as the 1980s. Had you walked through here, there was probably a canal there. Because again, there's another one of those big drains, and that just kind of indicates that the drainage canal has been buried. Although there's lots of them on here don't have that same kind of right-of-way going on. It's interesting. I know I've driven this stretch of Earl before, but wow, really nice houses. Really nice houses on this street. Yeah, the ones on the south side much bigger and more impressive than the older ones on the north side. Now, see, this is probably a better example of what was there before that cul-de-sac got put in, because that's very much an Arcadia, an old school type Arcadia house with a circular gravel driveway, single floor, good sized ranch house. Another street goes nowhere. That's 51st Street to Cherry Lynn. So I'm assuming that 51st Street just goes up one block, and then Cherry Lynn looks like it goes to the east, and it's probably a cul-de-sac. Oh, sun is coming up, and it is bright and in my face. Yikes. Wow, this is turning into a whole lot longer walk than I thought it was going to be. And have I talked about anything of substance? No, not really. Just kind of walking through a part of my neighborhood that I've never actually walked through. I've definitely driven down the street before, but I don't recall ever walking this way. That's kind of different looking to the north. I got the space between the walls. That looks like that cul-de-sac of that Cherry Lynn cul-de-sac doesn't go very far like I was imagining it did. Another alley and some old school, well, you never see much of that anymore. Chain link fence with the little slats in it. That's very 1970s. We've got an alley there, although it definitely looks like a private alley, private driveway. And got good old school Arcadia style ranch house. And here we have new builds. Two 2 new builds going in, and I'm willing to bet any amount of money that there used to be a ranch house very much like that probably sat right here, and some property investor managed to buy it, and they're subdivided it into 2 lots, and they're putting 2 houses here. Ooh, that outhouse smells. Rebuild the block, established 2013. And boom, I'm at 52nd Street. Sorry, it's just so weird. Like every time I walk places, just memories. Yeah, and here we go. Rebuild the block. I'm assuming that's the name of the development company. It's 5141 East Earl Drive. Each house a little bit less than 3,700 square feet. 4 bed, 5 bath. 4 bed, 4.5 bath. I can only imagine what those houses are selling for. Any question why people who work in the service industry can't afford to buy houses anymore? Oh well. Whoever owns Rebuild the Block and has an interest in that and was able to buy the house that was here and split it into 2 lots and build those 2 houses is probably making bank on that little bit of little project. On the bright side, hey, it's they're making the area denser. It's some denser urban development. There's another alley. I don't feel like walking down any more alleys today. I'm sure I've already had one neighbor going, there's a guy walking down the street. He's just like, looks like he's recording. It looks like he's casing the neighborhood. I don't know. Who knows? Well, look, we have another street that's got the white coating on it. Wow, and interestingly enough, this one doesn't have a dead end sign on it or a no through street sign on it. So I don't think that goes through, though. I really don't. I'm pretty darn convinced that there's nothing that goes north, nothing that goes through. Oh wow, that is what my Lexus. Oh nope, that's a Camry. It's still pretty much what my Lexus would look like if my Lexus wasn't trashed. Same color scheme and everything. Once upon a time, I had a dream. I had a dream to restore it and make it like that. But yeah, that didn't work out like that. Yeah, the electrical problems. Rob never was able to figure out what the electrical deal was with that car. Why so many people walking their dogs out this morning? What a cool looking dog. That dog definitely looking at me. It's Pinchot Street. Yeah, I got a feeling that other street that went down with the white pavement just kind of connects to this street. I'm thinking there's and I see another street turning off that way. It's probably one of those sort of things. If memory serves, you got 3 streets going in that direction and then a cross street at the end. So not a dead end per se, but not any way to get through any farther to anywhere else. Not sure what that is on the left there. Oh, I see a City of Phoenix sign on it. I can't really read it because of the sun. Ooh, the glare from the sun just kind of killed me. I haven't any chance of reading that, but I definitely saw a City of Phoenix logo. So some kind of city utility, something or other there. Oh, look, it's one of those little neighborhood library boxes with some books in it. Does anybody ever actually use those? I can't say I ever have. I think they're adorable when I see them, and every now and then I put some books in them, but I just have never talked to anybody that actually uses those. Yeah, it looks like I said right. We got Verde Lane also going that direction, and then texture of the neighborhood changes again. Got another Another alley. That one looks like it could be a fun and interesting walk. And Arcadia Apartments, grand opening. And you can tell from the architecture, this is something that's been here probably since sometime in the 1980s. Fully renovated. Studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms available. Fully renovated. I wonder what the odds are of Priscilla's apartment being here. Washer and dryer. Boy, it sure meets the description. And what and the picture she sent me certainly matches well with what she was Arcadia 52 Apartments. I forget what this used to be called, but yeah, it's definitely gone through a change of hands and been renovated and given a new name. I got a weird feeling that this is probably where Priscilla's new apartment is, that she doesn't stay the night at because she, for whatever reason, would rather stay at my place but not sleep with me. I mean, I get what her reasons are. Part of it is that she's not really good at waking up and getting out of bed, and she sleeps through a damn alarm clock. And it amazes me she hasn't lost her job over it. Because I know she tells me times that she needs to log in and get to work, but then she doesn't. And her alarm clock, sometimes it'll be hours between when it first goes off. In fact, it's already been going off this morning when it first goes off and when she actually gets up. And then sometimes she doesn't really get ready for work, like most people I know get ready for work. I mean, she just literally in whatever pajamas or clothes she fell asleep in, just heads into my daughter's room and logs in, proceeds to work. And usually within a short amount of time, I hear her on the phone arguing with people about their 401ks. So it must be a pretty small little apartment complex, because it looks like that property ends right there where the power lines are. Now this alley is obviously still in use because I see dumpsters on it. This is such a fun way to explore a neighborhood. All right, I just walked by. That guy's back fence has some cameras on it. So maybe I triggered a motion sensor with his cameras. It's like, what is that guy doing? What the heck? I'm exploring. This is what I do. I love doing this. So I'm not quite sure what that property is there. Again, it looks like it's probably some kind of apartments, and then another apartment building here. I'm on the back side of it, which it's kind of sad how none of those are accessible to this alley. I dig how this has covered parking with solar panels. I see that on occasion in some apartment complexes, and yeah, I mean, covered parking is a good thing, and solar panels are a good thing. It's a good thing that goes good together. Now, as far as how cost effective those things are, for, you know, like what it costs to put them in versus how much it generates in electricity over its usable lifespan, I don't know. Never done the homework on that, but I gotta admit, I'm curious and I love the concept. I love big old mature trees. That's one thing this neighborhood has in abundance that a lot of Phoenix is really lacking. I have no idea where this alley is going to take me. And I'm just in my head trying to think of like what's south of me on not Washington Street, what do you call it? What's south of me on Thomas Road. Oh, and I am in that neighborhood that I said probably didn't connect to anything. Ha ha, and another white painted street and an odd cul-de-sac and some very expensive looking houses. Wow, and this is almost exactly as I described I thought it would look. Except I didn't expect to see all the new builds on on the opposite side of the road, because all these houses, you can tell from the architecture, were definitely more recently built. But then we got the older houses there. Of course, some of them have been pretty recently renovated, so they got a different look to them. But yeah, all these streets in this little area have been painted white too. 50th Place. Yeah, I got a feeling these houses here are probably on the other side of that tall wall on the first alley I was walking through. Kind of a bummer. It looks like I've kind of got myself into a place where I'm backtracking big time no matter what I do. Well, it looks like all those new houses don't have their own mailboxes. That sucks. No trespassing private property. Over there, those look like the apartments where Crystal was living when we had our little fling. I'm almost wondering if that one bit of property that I was seeing after the end of that first complex is the part of the area that's owned by Phoenix Flowers. Seems like it might be. Oh gosh, I really wish I could. I wish I could just cut through right here to Thomas Road, but I'm sure these people that own the houses to the north here greatly value being separated from all the riffraff on Thomas Road, because Thomas Road is bad. It's even got a bus route on it. Of course, only a portion of the buses go to this side of 44th Street, as I've explained many times. So yeah, there is bus service on it, but not nearly as much bus service as there is on it further to the west. Oh, so I'm 52 minutes into this video. I can't believe y'all still watching. If anybody's still watching. But hey, thanks for coming and exploring alleys with me. Does look like a little apartment building up there. Here's somebody getting water out of a spigot there, so probably not a good idea to come over that wall. I'm not really one for hopping walls anyway. I'm too old for that crap. So bummed that didn't go through. I had really high hopes. The way this looked and the direction it was going, and especially the fact I could see dumpsters on it. I had really high hopes that was going to get me to some point where I could get to Thomas and find an alternate for walking through this way other than just walking down Thomas. As I've said a million times, I am not a fan of walking on narrow sidewalks along busy roads. Feel so much more comfortable just walking in alleys like this. This is peaceful. So 53 minutes in this, I'm going to have to wrap this up because the maximum capacity, I'm recording on my Obama phone, and the maximum capacity for a video on it is just a little bit over an hour, which is not shabby for a free phone. Shoot, the first free Obama phone that I got, not only did it shoot absolutely horrific quality video, and if you go far enough back through my vlogs, you will see videos that were shot on it, and some of them it shimmers like it's underwater. It's ridiculous. Not even sure what the hell aspect ratio it's shot in. It was wider than 4:3, but narrower than 16:9, and there's no adjustments on it. It just shot at what it shot at. Yeah, the worst thing was just how it just everything shook. just the whole thing just it's seeing through the eyes of a really drunk person, and really grainy. But the worst thing, absolute worst thing, was it could not shoot a video longer than 10 minutes. So. Yeah, still bewildered. Somebody stole that phone. Hey, speaking of the 29, there it is. I don't even have a bus pass on me right now. Yeah, speaking of the 29, there it is. dig that architecture. That's like an old school Circle K with the way those beams come out. A lot of the original Circle Ks, that was the architecture they used. Medical clinic now. And a hairstylist and a pizza place. So nice to see the building being reused like that. That's pretty neat. And there's the bus stop to catch the 29. But as I said, I don't think I have a bus stop on it. Oh, now here's a great sign. No loitering, no walking your dog here, no drug peddling. No parking, no trespassing, no public defecation in the U.S. Violators will be prosecuted. I guess that's a testament to issues that property owner has had to deal with. But hey, you know, when you got to sit at this bus stop potentially for hours to wait for your next bus, you might have to go potty. It's kind of a shame there's no public restrooms anywhere near here for the people waiting for this bus at this bus stop. Oh wow, it's still got one of the little route signs on it. This is 29 and Thomas. Valley Metro doesn't really do those anymore, and it's a shame. Linda Associates Consulting Structural Engineers. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of sidewalk I don't like walking on. And the speed limit is 40, but I assure you most everybody's driving about 50. And having them whizzing by me that fast is just not a good feeling. All right, so this is the property I said I was kind of curious about. It looked like cheap apartments. Wow. This looks like it's crossroads. This looks like it's some kind of either maybe a rehab center or a halfway house. It's one of those kind of programs for getting people off drugs and on their feet. But yeah, those are definitely apartments before they became whatever Crossroads is. I'm gonna have to Google Crossroads. I'm awfully curious. Now I've gone down that street. Wow, interesting to see the woman with the dog walking so far. Didn't expect her to cross Thomas. I've gone down that street before. I haven't mentioned it too much in this vlog, but once upon a time, not that long ago, I was doing way better for myself financially. Oh, here's more apartments here. Verde Villas on Thomas. Those look like decent apartments. And I want to say that the end of that property is where that alley I was on ended. This felt like it ended right about there. So no, that was definitely nothing to do with Phoenix Flowers. I did not make it that far. And that was definitely not the apartment complex that Crystal lived in. Gotta admit, I'm pretty bummed out. I never heard back from Crystal. I kind of figured her and I were going to be one of those kind of, like, it was going to be one of those situations where she called me like a week later. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, what are you doing? But yeah, no, at this point, it's been several months, so. Now, Priscilla says she's seen her, which I think is interesting. Emerlane Homes. Huh. There's the St. Teresa Church. Oh, and I better wrap this up because I'm at 59 minutes and 16 seconds. I got about a minute left before this thing cuts me off. Yeah, Priscilla says she's seen her at the grocery store at Fry's. So, but I've not seen her since I left her place to go to Bullock's all those months ago. Anyway, I gotta wrap this up. Sorry this has been such a long, boring video, but I hope you at least enjoyed all this wandering through this neighborhood over here, down alleys that people normally don't walk on. As I make it back to Phoenix Flowers. There is Phoenix Flowers. Anyway, thanks for watching.